Ethnic violence in South Sudan. Murle-Dinka fighting. Sudanese Civil Wars. As early as 1963, during the First Sudanese Civil War, Khartoum began arming the Murle tribe, traditional enemies of both Dinka and Nuer, to fight the Southern Rebellion. Sometimes, whole tribal territories became affiliated with one side or the other, and the vicious North-South War became a defining factor in relations between tribes, infusing old hostilities with a new, political dimension. With the peace deal in 2005, tribal militias chose to either be absorbed into the SPLA or head north and join the armed forces there. Most chose to join their former SPLA enemies as a matter of survival. Others, like fighters from the Murle tribe, chose to join the Northern Army. Today, there are many Murle Army officers in Khartoum, and they say the tribe is being punished for that. Cobra Faction Rebellion. David Yao led a Murle-dominated faction of the South Sudan Democratic Movement, SSDM, known as the Cobra Faction against the government in 2010. He signed a ceasefire with the GO-SS in June 2011, which integrated him and his militia with the SPLA. However, he defected again in April 2012, citing SPLA abuses in Pibor County in the March to October 2012 disarmament campaign that followed the Murle-Nuer clashes, called Operation Restore Hope. He now claimed to be fighting for a separate state for the Murle. During the Civil War in January 2014, the government signed a peace agreement called the Greater Pibor Administrative Area Peace Agreement with the Cobra Faction, which created in May that year the semi-autonomous area called the Greater Pibor Administrative Area, GPAA, to increase the minority populations within its borders, and David Yao was appointed chief administrator, equivalent to state governor. Not all Cobra Faction generals were satisfied, and a splinter group called the Greater Pibor Forces formed, alleging that the SPLM were inciting the Murle to attack the Nuer as a form of divide and rule. Further, on Christmas Eve 2015, Salva Kiir announced an increase in the number of states from 10 to 28 and then, 5 days later, swore in all new governors appointed by him. The new borders give Kiir's Dinkas a majority in strategic locations. This replaced the with Boma state and replaced Yao with Baba Maidan Konya, angering the Cobra Faction. In September 2016, the Cobra Faction, now led by Khalid Boutros, declared war against the government, but in March 2017, Boutros dissolved the faction to incorporate it into the broader faction of the National Salvation Front led by Thomas Cirillo. Jonglei-Boma conflict. Cattle raids between Dinka from the Dinka majority Jonglei state and the Murle from the Murle majority Boma state led to a peace agreement between both states on December 5, 2016, and to the formation of a joint police force recruited from the states of Jonglei, Boma, and Baye. However, attacks across states continued. In March, armed youth and soldiers from Jonglei state attacked and captured Kachar, in Boma state. Boma state officials, as well as Khalid Boutros of the Cobra Faction, accused the SPLA of supporting the attacks on Boma state. In November 2017, Murle gunmen attacked a Dinka village of Duke Payul County in Jonglei, killing 45 people and abducting about 60 women and children.